but politics, yeah, just hold a grudge for the rest of your life. Hello, Internet. How are you
Hello, Internet.
today? Have you emotionally recovered from the Canadian election?
Oh my God.
Have you emotionally recovered from your political
My,
boyfriend?
for my specific writing? For
Yeah.
oh my
Uh,
God.
I don't know. Are you one of those dudes who's openly willing to admit who he voted for?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. I don't
Okay.
care.
Because
So,
that kind of like, because if you
no.
don't, then it doesn't make sense that I said your political boyfriend is
Yeah.
gone.
No. We had, so Dale is outing me right away on the podcast about my
I mean, if
politicals.
anybody didn't
Uh,
know, they just didn't listen to
yeah.
you.
Yeah. It was, so my riding which is called, I think it's called Burnaby Central now. It used to be called Burnaby South.
Same
Uh,
riding as this guy.
Same writing
Wah,
as
wah,
that
wah, wah,
guy.
wah.
We had Jagmeet Singh was our
We were his
and
home base. I
we're
didn't
his
even
home
know
base.
that.
You did? Oh my, dude, it's been for years, like since 2018, I
I
guess.
guess I didn't pay attention last time
Yeah. So
when I
he's
voted for Rocky Dong,
Rocky Dong.
but that was like 2 ago because he's in a
I
different
remember
one now.
you couldn't not vote for Rocky Dong,
I
and
know,
I
man.
understand. I understand. I
And he was a
understand why.
conservative. Oh wait, that wasn't a federal one. That was just like
That was a municipal, like a local one. Yeah.
yeah, because I voted conservative because I was like, it doesn't matter. Nobody big I
Rocky
hate is
Dong.
conservative, and Rocky Dong was hilarious. He didn't win, and somehow he switched ridings, which I don't understand
Yeah,
when it's municipal.
you just run wherever, right? Like this
Yeah.
is which that's a great segue for one of our stories we're talking about today.
Hmm.
But yeah, for me, it was a difficult
Sorry.
decision. There's so much going on, man, because like I'm not necessarily in love with some of the stuff that Jagmeet Singh did in the course of his time in our
Hmm.
riding, but or even in this election, it was pretty weird. But anyway, we went to the polls, and for the first time ever, I was conflicted when I went to vote. But when I
Oh,
got
really?
there, I got to the poll and I got my little piece of paper and I went behind the screen and I looked
Hmm.
at the candidates on the list and I was like, I fucking can't vote for these other guys. Like, I don't, the liberal candidate who was the suggested person to vote for based
Hmm.
on my friend group and like what they just and the people that I talk about politics with for the most part were like, you got to vote liberal if you don't want the conservatives in your riding, because if you vote for the NDP, it'll split the vote and the conservatives will get in, and this whole thing will be fucked in our neighborhood and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So but when I got there, I looked at the ballot and I went to mark my X down, and I'm like, I don't know who this liberal candidate is. I have no idea who he is.
Oh,
So I
full
threw my vote
disclosure,
away.
I had no idea who he was either, but I
Yeah,
still voted for Chang.
yeah.
Put
Was
a
it vote for
little
Chang?
Chang in your
Yeah,
pocket.
yeah.
Honestly, I
Nice.
saw it and all the Chang jokes from
All the Chang
Community
jokes from
came
Community come
rushing
rushing
back, and I
back.
was
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I could use a little Chang in my life.
Yeah, yeah. So I wasted my vote. I put a one in for Jagmeet Singh, and then he resigned like an hour into the
Yeah,
election when the NDP lost all their seats.
but at
So
least you voted early before anybody knew what kind of a like
yeah, man.
upside down shit show it was going to be. Like
So
they told us they're like conservatives are going to win. We're
they're
going to
gonna
have
win.
change, and you're like,
Yeah,
I don't know, because
yeah,
I was like, because this is the fourth time in a row I voted for conservatives.
yeah.
Because the first time I voted, I think, was for the first time Trudeau won, and back then I was
You
like,
mean
I hate
liberals? You said
Trudeau.
conservatives. I think you meant
Oh,
liberals.
yeah, I meant liberals.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
So like whatever, what was that, like 12 years ago, whatever, the
Yeah.
first time Trudeau, I was like, I hated Trudeau, and I was like, I'm just voting for the Liberal Party because they're just like in the middle. I
Yeah.
didn't know anything. I knew even less about politics back then.
Yeah.
And then I just began to love Trudeau because he was just like a fair weather politician, and it was basically like whatever the most people screamed about, he was like, I'll do that. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I want, even though I've been told that's not
That's
how
not a good
political
way to run the
politics work,
country. Yeah.
because
Totally. Yeah.
most people who like politics think they're smarter than the average
They
person, and
do.
they're like,
Yeah.
we can't just let the average person say what they want to happen because they're not as smart as me. Where I'm like, I don't know if I'm smarter than them, and even if I was, I would pretend I wasn't, because whenever I'm the smartest person in the room, I just have a sense of dread because it's like, if I'm the
Yeah,
smartest person
that
that's in this
you should
room
have that. Yeah,
and I don't know what the fuck's going on in the
then
world at large, we're
this
fucked.
room is this room is not the room I need to be in.
And it's funny because there's like those dudes who have like too much ego that they can't ask questions, where
Yeah,
I'm like, I have 100 questions about every single subject and I just want people to answer them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
kind of the same as you. I want
yeah.
somebody smarter than me to answer the questions
Yeah.
for me.
So anyways,
Right?
I was going to vote conservatives this time because I was like, I voted liberal 3 times.
Yeah,
Everything's kind of fucked up, but it's not, I don't even think it's the liberals' fault. Personally, I wrote a tweet about this. I was like, oh, it sucks that Poilievre lost because I hear he was just going to invent a time machine and go back in time and not allow
yeah,
Trump to give Fauci clearance to start gain of function research and then let the pandemic escape and then do an economic or do a shutdown and then cause an economic slowdown and then cause the banks to raise the interest rate, which caused inflation, which caused the housing crisis because all the prices of getting a mortgage went up because of the interest rate was higher. And I was like, I heard that's how he was going to solve the problem. And then I was like, wait a minute, I can't vote for the fucking conservatives because I was like, because there's this voice in my head. It was like, remember Harper.
yeah.
Remember that piece
Remember
of
Harper.
shit. And
So
me, just like every other Canadian who voted liberal, were like, we're gonna hold this grudge till we die because Harper was such a piece of shit.
so for our generation, the generation above us, like my parents, our parents' generation, they'll never vote for NDP because of this exact sentiment, because NDP fucked everything in the 80s and the 70s for people in British Columbia.
Oh yeah, what
So
were they responsible for the softwood lumber
yes,
crisis?
that's correct. So yeah, so there was all of that. So like anybody my parents' age, like
Yeah,
60 to 70 kind of years old, or like
boomer
they're like, yeah,
ish,
boomerish people are like, fuck
boomer
the
adjacent.
NDP. I'll never vote NDP. I'm holding on to a grudge from 50 fucking years ago, and I'll never vote NDP, even if they're the right party for our city. It doesn't matter.
And you know what? You know what? I'm just gonna say this. That's what politics is about.
It really is. It's
Throughout
about
our entire life, if you
it's
hold a
about what.
grudge,
Yeah, like
it
I'll
just
never vote
fucks you.
conservative. I'll just never vote
Yeah,
conservative.
neither
I just
will I.
won't do it.
Like, if you hold a
Yeah.
grudge for like work or whatever, eventually you'll be the person who suffers. But politics, yeah, just hold a grudge for the rest of your life. Let them know and
100%.
just tell everybody, be like, I'm not voting conservative because
Yeah.
they fucked up 20 years ago or whatever
Yeah.
it was, like
That's
15 years
effectively
ago. And then
it's
then
effectively politics in Canada. Yeah.
And then what will happen, hopefully, if somebody had a brain, they'll be like, oh, we're going to run a conservative guy, just forgot the word for
Candidate.
that,
Candidate.
candidate
Yeah.
who embodies what you want to see in the province, not just some petty dickhead who
Yeah.
hates Trudeau. And also, I just wanted to like get up on my soapbox
Your high
here.
horse. Yeah.
And I want to tell all you fuck Trudeau guys, you fucked yourself because you're all like, fuck Trudeau, we hate Trudeau. And everybody who didn't hate Trudeau was like, all right, guys, you're annoying. So it was like all this fuck Trudeau, fuck Trudeau. And they're like, the conservative, but they never said anything else. They were just like, fuck
Yeah.
Trudeau, we hate him. He fucked everything. But they weren't like, the fucking political standing of the conservatives will help us out. Their platform will see us go like recover financially. They were just like, fuck Trudeau. And then Trudeau was like, bye. And then
Yeah.
they're like,
Oh, now what do we do?
and then
Fuck
like,
Carney? Fuck Carney, I guess.
yeah. And
Fuck Carney? Question mark.
their whole thing was like, fuck Trudeau.
Who
He
do I
doesn't,
fuck now?
yeah, he doesn't know economics. And
Yeah.
then the guy who runs the bank, who runs the world, steps in and he's like, oh, you guys said something about economics.
Yeah. I'm here now. Yeah.
Yeah, hey,
I'm literally a world financial head.
yeah, like when they talk about the
Yeah.
shadow room globalists with the economy, that's this guy. Well,
Mhm.
not me personally, that's Carney.
Yeah.
Like
This guy.
I almost didn't vote for him because of his WEF ties. And
Yeah.
like, I don't talk about it much on this podcast, but my other podcast with the conspiracy shit, like the WEF and like Klaus Schwab, who's not
Yeah.
there anymore, it's someone worse. But he was one of the founding members of the WEF. And I was like, oh yeah. But I was like, I can't do conservative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a tumultuous time.
Mm-hmm.
It's man, it's weird. Like that election was fucking crazy. Like, I don't know if it was just me. I just felt like stressed the entire time.
I learned a lot.
I learned
I
a lot more
learned
too. Yeah.
I learned that you don't get to be a federally recognized party if you don't. Okay, I guess we should kind of give like I'll
Oh,
give
I
like a
knew that. I knew that part already.
I
You need.
didn't.
Oh, you did.
I'll give
You
you a
need a
tiny
minimum
I'll give a
12 seats.
yeah, I'll give a tiny rundown for people who aren't in Canada. I think we have some listeners.
Yeah.
So in Canada, we don't vote. We like vote for our ridings. Like me and Jeff were talking, we're Burnaby
Yeah.
South. So there's like what 343
323.
ridings.
323 ridings?
343. Yeah,
Yeah, something.
343 because you have to get 172,
Yeah. Yes.
which
Yeah,
would be
yeah. That's right.
344.
Yeah.
If you get 172 ridings,
Dale's doing the
then you get a
math.
form of majority government, which is just like in the States where it's like if you're majority, well, up here they don't like you don't like vote for House
The
and Senate and
specific
stuff.
person. Yeah.
For up here, it's just if you get majority, it's like you have the House and Senate. But if
It's
you get
first past the post
minority,
system. Yeah.
it's like you have it's like it's just you
You
don't get to
won
just pass stuff you want.
yes, you won the amount of votes, but you
Yeah.
required to use either of the two smaller formed parties to help push your vote
Yeah.
across. So they have to rely on either the NDP or the Bloc Québécois to help
Mhm.
drive
Or
bills through
or
Parliament,
maybe the opposition, which they never
or
will.
the opposition, which is rare. It's super rare that
Yeah,
happens.
just because it's petty. So and in this system, if like for you to like have, I don't even know what specifically it means to have like be a federally recognized party, but you need to get, like Jeff said, 12 ridings. You need to win like, and each riding represents a seat in like the
It's
fucking
a
House
member
of
of Parliament.
Commons,
It's in
member of
Parliament.
Parliament.
It's in Parliament. So it's
Is
an
that the same
MP.
thing as the House of
Yes.
Commons?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're in your riding. Every Canadian votes for the member of Parliament in their riding. That's what you're voting
Yeah.
for. You're not voting for like the. You're not voting for Poilievre, Carney, or Singh,
Mm-hmm.
or Blanchette. You're voting for an MP who is the person. Like, if you have a problem with the government or you want to write to the government, you write to your MP. You don't write to like the prime minister, or
Oh yeah.
you don't tweet to Carney. You have to write a message to whoever your seated
Mm-hmm.
MP is, which I don't even know the guy's name. The Liberal MP in our riding. I have no idea what his name is.
Chang.
It is a vote for Chang. Okay, it was Chang.
Um, but and also
Raymond Chang.
in
Is that it?
Canada, the
Everybody
difference
loves
is
Raymond Chang.
you, like Jeff was saying, you don't vote for a president, you vote for a party, and
Yeah.
then whoever's leading that party gets to be prime minister.
Gets to be prime minister. Yeah, and
So
the prime minister is not, or the party leader is nominated by the party official party members, like card carrying party members. So like
yeah.
I'm not a member of any political party specifically. A
Ooh,
buddy of
maybe I
mine
should be.
a buddy of mine is, so he's a card carrying liberal, so he gets a say on the vote of
Mm.
who gets to be the leader of the party. So he was involved in the vote for Carney to
So
be
if
put
you're a
forward.
card carrying liberal,
Yeah.
are you allowed to vote for someone who's not liberal, or is it automatically you vote for liberal?
No, you vote for liberal. You're towing the party line. Well, I mean, you can vote for whoever you want, but you're not going to. You're going to vote for
Yeah.
the liberal candidate in your riding.
I mean, you wouldn't be drinking the Kool-Aid if you didn't
Yeah,
want it.
exactly. Like, you don't become
Yeah.
a card carrying member of a political party if you're intending on voting for a different party.
Mm-hmm.
You're there. Your interests are in it to like help further the party's goals.
Yeah. And then Singh, he didn't win our riding, so he didn't have a seat in the House of Commons, and his party didn't have like official. They won
Who
7
else
seats
didn't get a
overall.
seat, Dale?
Pierre Poilievre
So
or Poilievre, PP.
yeah, Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre, who's the leader of the Conservative Party, was ousted by a liberal in his riding in Carleton, which is outside of Toronto.
Yeah, was it in
Sorry, outside of
Ottawa?
Ottawa. Ottawa,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he
yeah.
also didn't get. Oh, he also didn't get a seat. So the leader of the NDP didn't get a seat and resigned, and the leader of the opposition, which actually technically he can't be the leader of the opposition until he
wins a seat.
There you go.
Segue. And
yeah, segue, bitches.
So what happened was he didn't win a seat. So I don't know. Like Jeff was saying, he doesn't get to be the leader of the party. Like he doesn't get to be the leader of the opposition. He's still the leader of the Conservatives, but I don't know if the Conservatives even get to technically be an opposition party, or if they have to pick someone who is.
So I can break this down for you because I
break
actually
it down.
know the answer to this. So
give me the answer.
So technically, Poilievre cannot attend parliament. He's not an MP. At present, he's not an MP. So this is like a very big topic in Canada right now, because he's an MP. When the parliament gets formed, which is, I think it's like May 26th or May 22nd or something, is when they're bringing everybody back to parliament to like restart the government.
He's not gonna be there.
No, he could be. He could be.
Oh,
So this brings us to the story. So he is going to basically, when that happens, if the party still wants him to be the leader, they have to run him in a by-election. Someone has to resign in a conservative held region that's like, they generally do this where like they have a massive lead, like where the conservatives are really, really strong in one province or one riding somewhere, and they have that person who won step down.
mm-hmm.
They resign, and then they have a by-election in that city or that riding, sorry. The by-election goes, and they run Poilievre as the candidate in that riding so that he can become the MP,
And
then
this is
then he
what,
can attend parliament.
and this is what. So
Which
I was
is also
reading.
kind of bullshit too, which people in Canada don't really like this process either, but it
Oh yeah.
happens pretty frequently.
Oh yeah. So what's happening is, I'm just gonna look this up. I'm sorry, I'm pulling up the article so I can
Is it
find the guy
Alberta? He's
who's.
running in a riding in
Oh, dude,
Alberta?
yeah, it's bumfuck Alberta. It's
Oh
not
my
even
God.
like a
It's not even like
city.
Okotoks?
No,
So
like
Airdrie?
Hannah, Alberta,
Yeah, like some random little
like
shit town.
Vegreville. It's like this giant. So the riding he's running for is, what is it? It's 53,000 square kilometers,
Wow.
and there's only 33,000 people. So like,
You know, Burnaby's only like 98 square kilometers.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
density of his riding is only one person for every 2 kilometers. Like, it's fucking
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy. Like,
We have like a million people per kilometer here.
I'm not even being
It's-
mean when I say bumfuck Alberta. This
yeah,
is
it's like
like
middle of nowhere.
Vegreville has the world's largest Ukrainian Easter egg, and actually,
Oh yeah.
Vegreville proper, the like hamlet or town or village
Yeah.
or whatever it's called, isn't actually in this riding. I was mistaken. What happened was they made this riding's brand new since
Yeah.
2015, and they took pieces of what used to be in the Vegreville riding and added it to this. And it's basically, if you know Alberta geography, it's you go from Edmonton, and then there's that like the QE2, which is the main
Yeah.
highway south, and you go down to like Red Deer and
Red
then
Deer.
Calgary.
Yeah.
So this riding is you just go east of that where the population stops, and it's just fucking
It's
desert and
just
bullshit.
yeah.
And it's like that giant chunk from like Edmonton down to Red Deer. So Drumheller's in there.
Drumheller. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And so Damien Curick, who I think he's been like there like 3 or 4 times. He's been
Yeah.
like the MP who won. He's stepping down, and then Poilievre is going to go run in the by-election. But the funny thing is, I was trying to find a date because like Jeff said, Parliament's going to start up on the 26th, and if Poilievre doesn't win this by then, he doesn't get to go. He has to
he
go.
doesn't get to go. Yeah.
So funny, but it just says later this year. So I think Parliament's going to start up without Poilievre.
Yeah. It's possible. Like it's
It's hilarious.
because there's still like technically there's some ridings I think that are still being counted or like double checked or like
Oh yeah,
quality checked or not quality checked. Like variance checked to make sure that they're accurate. So so by the time that this election comes around, yeah, the first forming of the House of Parliament will probably not include Poilievre because he won't be able to go in because he won't be an actual elected official at that point in time.
yeah.
However, he's still living in Stornoway, which is the traditional
Oh, is he
home,
still in there?
still in there. And there was talk about that too, like because technically so in Canada there's two residences, primary residences, one for the conservative leader, one for the liberal leader, and they're within like spitting distance of Ottawa. Stornoway is.
Oh wait. Point of conjecture.
Yeah.
Is it the liberal and conservative leader, or is it the prime minister and the leader of the
sorry,
opposition?
the prime minister and the leader of opposition.
Sorry.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just generally because it tends to be one of those two people. Either way. You're right. Sorry, it's
Yeah.
the leader of the opposition house and the prime minister house. And what
Mhm.
is the prime minister's house called again? Why can I
Oh
never?
God,
remember
I
this
don't
one?
know. Fuck.
It'll come to me. Or I'll have
Not
to
the
look it
White
up.
House.
Not the white. No. It's like it's from the British system, right? Where they have like
Oh yeah, dude. I did not know what Tories and Whigs were until
Oh.
like somebody explained it to me a year ago and I forgot again.
They're also referred to as the whips and the Tories too.
Who are the whips?
Same thing. Same
Liberals?
thing as the Whigs. Yeah, liberals. Prime Minister's
Why?
house. Why do I not know this? 24 Sussex Drive. That's it. God, I can never remember what it was.
Sussex.
24 Sussex is where the Prime Minister's
That's not
residence
how you say
is.
Sussex. You got to say Sussex.
Sussex,
Sussex.
and then yeah, Stornoway is where the leader of the opposition lives, and so
Hmm.
Poilievre is in there, but technically he's not supposed to be because he's not the leader of the opposition presently. So he's supposed to like move out of this place, but they're like he has a young family, he can't just move out. I'm like, dude, if say my residence, it's like say my residence was like hinging on my job, and I got fired from my job, and they're
Yeah.
like, get the fuck out because there's a new person that's got to come into this house. But he's got a family. Fuck him. Get out. Get out. I've got to give
Oh,
this house to somebody else.
do you think Poilievre would be like, oh, they have family. I won't kick them out? Nope.
Exactly. He would kick them out in a fucking
Conservatives.
heartbeat. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. So hit the streets, kid. You're not paying
And
taxes. Get the fuck out.
and even though I've been ragging on Battle River Crowfoot, that's the riding about being bumfuck nowhere, I feel kind of bad for them because I was reading the news article and this Damien Keurig, who's only 35, who's already led there, like a lot of the city mayors, like each city only has like 22,000 people.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
Or no, less than that, because the whole area has 33,000.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, like a lot of like one of them was like, is this gonna fuck us? Because we like this guy
Mhm.
and we work together and he got us an overpass built, which I don't know if you've ever been to Canada.
You lived in Alberta. I don't know. I've never
Oh, I
really
lived there
spent.
for like 4 or 5 years.
I
But
played hockey a bunch there, but I've never actually like
if
lived
you've ever
there.
been to like tiny town, not like town, not a city, Canada, where you have less than 10,000 people and they build you a fucking overpass, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So if you're like, who gives a fuck? This guy got them an overpass built. It's actually a pretty big deal.
I
So,
was in
anyways, this,
Agassiz. I was in Agassiz today. You want to talk about a small, like middle of nowhere Canada,
yeah,
man? Yeah.
but that's
Sorry.
like touching, like that's still part of the
Oh
lower
yeah,
mainland.
it's spitting distance
Yeah.
with to Vancouver, but like still,
Oh, yeah.
it is podunk as they say.
So, anyways, this guy's saying he's like, if Poilieve's our representative, are we all just going to get ignored? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
There's no
Yeah.
way Poilieve's going to have time to take this, like the mayor of here. Fuck, I got to find his name just so I like.
So it's funny that you mentioned that though. Like basically, Polyev goes to that riding, but he doesn't live in that area, which is this is one of the major complaints that Canadians have, right? Like
Yeah.
he actually has no like actual clout or standing within that region. He's never even been there. So it's
Yeah.
like, why
So
would
he's
you?
not going to like talk to the city mayors and stuff. He's going to be
He
in,
doesn't care.
what'd you say, Stornhill?
Stornoway.
Stornoway. He's going to be in Stornoway with his young family and his
Yeah, and because he has to
important
be
wife
because once
being
he
the
gets
leader of the
elected,
opposition.
he's the
Yeah.
leader of the opposition, so he goes there, right? Like it's kind of weird. Yeah.
Dude, you know what they should do?
What?
They should make him go live in this riding, and then we can have like the sequel to Schitt's Creek, where it's
Dude.
Poilievre
Oh my god,
living in
that's so
some
funny. It'd be
motel.
perfect. Poilievre's living in a motel, and was this Chris Elliott this is the manager of the hotel.
Yeah.
It's
Fuck, why
perfect.
can't I find it? All right. Anyway, so like, yeah,
Yeah.
some I'm just trying to find here. I'm just gonna pull up a map and give you an example of one of the towns there. But because it was in the news article, but for whatever reason I can't scroll and talk at the same fucking time.
You have that, yeah, that whole thing.
Because it's harder than chewing bubblegum and
Yeah.
walking, apparently.
Do you want to take do you want me to take up some airtime while you're doing that? Because
No,
I think like oh you got it?
I
Okay.
got on
Look
my
at you
phone.
fast. You gotta put your hand
I'll
behind it.
put it up.
You gotta put your hand behind
So
it like
Battle
this.
River Crowfoot has towns like Camrose,
Yeah, Camrose.
uh,
Hey, Mike from Camrose.
Beaver. Anyways,
Oh yeah, Beaver bud. Yeah.
Flagstaff, Wainwright, Provost,
Yeah.
Special Area Number 4.
That's what I call my privates.
Whoa, Starland? Is that an actual place?
Yeah, it probably has like an alien spaceship, Canada's
Yeah.
largest alien spaceship in it. Alberta's famous for having like all these stupid landmarks.
Yeah. You know what's the most fucked up thing?
What?
Fuck,
There's lots of fucked up
there's
things. You have
two
to be more
famous people
specific.
from Hannah. I always knew Nickleback was from Hannah, and
Yeah.
then there was someone else famous that was from there. I can't remember. And I was like,
I'm
oh,
gonna do you want my like controversial hot take on Nickelback?
that they suck.
Nope. everyone in
Okay.
Canada shits on Nickelback, and they're currently like, I think they're signed up to do a US like tour with somebody. I can't remember, like a promotional tour for the president or something. But like,
Yeah.
uh, I have like firsthand experience where our band played with Nickelback like a million years ago at Uncle Charlie's in Kamloops, and
Oh
they were the
yeah.
nicest dudes in the whole world. They were so cool to us, and
Don't tell me they're
they
nice.
played a cover song. They played a cover of Jeremy by Pearl Jam in like,
Oh
this is like 99 or something, and fuck, it was so good. And they
yeah.
were tight, and they played awesome, and
Toy.
they were so good, and they were so nice to us. So I can't hate Nickelback. Then like fast forward to like
Yeah.
a number of years later, and they're filming a video in an empty building that was
Hmm.
like being constructed, but it wasn't finished yet. And it was like kind of across from Willingdon, like near BCIT.
Yeah.
And I got invited to go interview them. And we showed up there, and it's the drummer and the bass player. And they
Hmm.
didn't recognize me or anything, right? But they didn't know who I was, whatever. And I told them about that story about Uncle Charlie's and how good they were when we played with them. And they're like, we were like, and guests on our band was like, and guests on the
Nice.
list. Like, it wasn't even,
Yeah.
we weren't even included. It was Nickelback, Mystery Machine, and guests, and we were
Ooh,
and
Mystery
guests. We
Machine.
warmed up. So anyway, I was telling this story, and they were laughing about it. And then they're like, "Hey, you guys want some food?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." And they had like, there were only two of them in the building doing like outtakes, the drummer and the bass player.
Yeah.
And there was like this whole suite of sushi and a bunch of beers. And they're like, "You guys want some beers?" I'm like, "Should we have some beers?" And they're like, "Fuck yeah, man, we're Nickelback, have some beers." We're like, "All right." So we had some beers while I was working and doing an interview, and like I had a bunch of sushi and hung out with them. And again, so fucking nice, like the nicest dudes in the
Okay.
world. So
Also, I guess a point of clarification. When I say Nickelback sucks, I don't mean that they're bad at their instruments.
yeah,
That to me, that's even the
they're
problem
not
is
bad at
because
they're really good at their
oh,
instruments.
that's the
They're
point.
really
They're
good.
so
Yeah,
good at their
yeah,
instruments, but it's like they made a mathematical equation to make their music by.
yeah.
So they like on
Most
purpose made
bands
it a
do,
certain
man.
way.
Most
I
bands do.
know I'm not in a band.
Just
I could still
Nickelback gets
pretend.
hated for that. That's all.
I could
Every song I've
pretend
ever
some
played
of
sounds
them.
exactly the same.
I just pretend that some of them use just pure feelings, and it's funny
Yeah,
because synthwave, which is probably my most listened to genre right now for the last like 10 years,
yeah,
it all sounds the same, and that's why
yeah.
I love it all. But like what I'm yeah, so fine, I'll lay off Nickelback, but
Everybody's taken a shit on Nickelback for years, and they're the
and
fucking
it's
nicest dudes.
funny
Nickelback,
because
you guys, if
yeah,
you're out there, you're awesome. Thank you for being you. And fuck the haters. That's all I gotta say.
and
You
they're
were nice. You were
taking
nice to me when I was a teenager, and I appreciate you.
they're taking new heat now because fucking not they like were playing some thing with Kid Rock and it's
Yeah.
like MAGA adjacent and like
Yes.
all the
Yeah.
Canadians are like you're playing for
What the
the
fuck?
enemy and
Yeah.
stuff.
So
Whereas
even
like
more,
whatever.
if you didn't hate Nickelback before, you're gonna hate them politically now. And I'm
Mhm.
just like, sure, you know what? They gotta eat too. They gotta
It'll
get theirs. So I
and
don't know.
it's funny because as Canadians, we hate musicians for
For being
like stuff
successful. Yeah.
that other people wouldn't recognize. Like when Brian Adams went to
Yeah.
Britain because he wanted to get knighted, and everybody just like fucking hated him
Yeah.
because he turned his back on Canada. And it's like, guys,
Yeah.
there's less than 40 million
There's
people in this country. The whole thing.
there's no more Canadian experience than hating successful Canadians for when they move somewhere else.
Which,
Fuck Jim Carrey. That guy, he was all, yeah, all Canada, all
yeah,
Toronto, playing shitty comedy clubs, and he was fantastic. And then he got famous, and now I fucking hate him.
yeah. They're
The
like,
Tragically Hip never broke the US barrier, and so people in Canada revere the Tragically Hip as like
yeah,
they're the greatest fucking Canadian band ever,
I've never been a fan.
because they didn't get successful enough to break the
Yeah.
US barrier.
They didn't get a bag of money to leave
Yeah,
Canada. And
yeah,
it's funny because that's kind of like I'm a hypocrite for saying that it's bad for Canadians to hate people who are popular because I kind of hate Mike Myers
yeah.
because he's on Saturday Night Live because he lives in New York because he got super famous in New York and he's all like elbows up, I'll be over here sucking on America's teeth, making
Yeah,
bags of money, but
yeah,
you guys should fight back. Me? No, I'm going to be over
yeah. I'll
here
be over
in
here
gravy
paying into
land.
it a completely different tax
Yeah.
bracket. Yeah,
You
totally.
guys eat piles of shit and I will live on gravy land,
Yeah,
the land of milk and honey because I'm famous. But I'll make an elbows up and then I'll make little promo video with our premiere on the 1 week of a year that I come back to
that
Canada.
I'm required to come back to Canada legally. Yeah,
I
totally.
wonder if he's even a
Yeah.
Canadian citizen still.
Most people that end up in like Hollywood, they end up being dual citizens and they just spend most of their time in the
Yeah,
US
because
anymore.
what is it? You have to spend 6 months in Canada.
That's
And
only if you're not a US citizen, or if you
oh,
don't get a green card or an associated card or like permit status within the US.
hmm.
If you get like residency status within the US, you don't have to come back.
Is that all it takes? See ya.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would I would
and like
honestly
it's
think
easy
about
for
yeah,
actors and like people like and musicians and stuff,
yeah.
like entertainers, to get US visas.
And the only problem is you can't move to the States unless you have a bag of money because it's
Yeah.
terrifying
Yeah.
because of at will employment and privatized healthcare.
Absolutely.
Those two
Yeah.
things is what's keeping me in Canada because like I don't even want to move down to the States for the economic freedom or anything. I just want to go somewhere warmer and less rainy than Vancouver. Like I want Vancouver.
It's been nice. It was nice today. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I want Vancouver with less people. That's my
Yeah.
only dream in life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would want to go to like the coast of Washington.
Because
But
you have been like Washington State, man. It's
oh,
like
it's beautiful.
it's just over our border, and there's like virtually uninhabited waterfront for most of the
Yeah.
state. And like
And the
here,
funny, yeah,
all of everyone in British Columbia is concentrated in this general area.
yeah.
So
Like
it's like this
yeah, Vancouver gets more rain than Seattle. And it's funny
dude,
because you hear shit like Kurt Cobain is like, oh, I'm so depressed. And you're like, shut up.
dude,
You have more sunshine and less
move
people than
200
us.
kilometers north.
Yeah.
If you didn't need a shotgun then, you're gonna need a
Yeah.
shotgun now. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I
Fuck,
wanted
man.
to. That reminds me that I wanted to tell you this story about my toddler. Sorry for the like bad transition,
It's whatever our shit. We can
but
do what
she
we want.
did the fucking funniest thing to me. Like, it's funny because did I tell you the like the daddy Milky thing, the story?
Oh, but that sounds amazing. I want to hear
Okay,
Daddy
so
Milky.
the last
Daddy
time
Milky.
my fucking toddler spit roasted me harder than any of my friends ever have. I'm fucking holding her and she like reaches over and grabs my tit and she goes, Daddy Milky?
Oh
And I was just
man.
like, whoa,
Ouch.
bitch, settle down. These don't make milk. Those are only moms. Kudos to roasting me instantly and not even really understanding what you're doing. But today,
Oh, ouch.
so
So
I
today you hit
kept,
the gym, it's just all fucking
yeah,
chest day.
I'm just Googling how to get rid of bitch tits by exercising. So today I was watching her and we're like, we're gonna eat something or something. Andrew was like doing some exercises in the room. So she's like, Daddy Orange? And I was like, what? And she's like, can I have an orange? Oh, this other thing that's fun. Okay, before I get to this story, I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
something else that she does. So she'll
Enter
say
factory.
stuff and she kind of talks quiet sometimes, and she'll be like, Daddy Chippy, and you're like, what? And she'll be like, Daddy Chippy, and you're like, Daddy's Chippies? And she's like, yes, please. And you're like, oh, you
Oh
tricked
shit, she
me.
got me.
Or she's like, I want Daddy Chippy. And you're like, what? And I'm like, you want Daddy Chippy? And she's like, yeah. And you're like, oh, you just tricked me. Now I got to
Yeah.
give you chips. That's the way it works. You're
Yep.
like Rumpelstiltskin. So
Nice.
today she goes, Daddy, I want orange. I'm like, okay, let's go check. And then I look like in her because when we go out, we have a snack bag and we had
Yeah.
gone out earlier. So I was like, oh, maybe there's some oranges in there. No, there's none. And then I open the fridge and I take a quick peek. No, there's none there. And I close the door and it like stinks. And I was like, oh, something in the fridge stinks. And what's the first thing you do when something in the fridge stinks?
You open the fridge back up and have a look and find out what's
And
in
you
there.
look and you try to smell what
Yeah.
stinks, right?
Yeah.
So I do that. So I open the fridge and then I'm leaning over and I'm leaning over and she
Yeah.
walks under me. And as I lean down to take a big whiff, she just cuts beef. She just farts in my face as I'm taking a fridge whiff to
Oh
see what sticks in
no.
the fridge. And I was like, oh my God, that
Oh,
is the funniest shit that's ever happened to me.
yeah.
I'm disowning you, but it was still hilarious.
So was there something gross in the fridge, or was she just
I
shitting
never
herself?
found it. I just closed the door and was
Like
laughing.
walked away.
And the best part was like she has this like thing with dairy that if we give her dairy, she turns into a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
So we can't give her dairy, but she loves cheese because she's a human being and every
Yeah.
human being loves
Human being
cheese.
loves cheese. Yeah.
So it's like she'll say daddy's cheese because I have like shredded cheese in the fridge because Andrea doesn't eat cheese and because she has dairy problems too.
Yeah.
That's probably where she got it from. So she calls it daddy's cheese. And then I go, did you cut the cheese? And she's like, daddy's cheese? And I was like, oh, you got me
She got me
again.
again twice. Oh man,
And I was like, oh man. And I was like,
dude.
I got to tell Jeff that my toddler owned me on the podcast so we talk about it.
I have a 15-year-old son, so he'll like literally just walk out. Like I'll be doing something in the kitchen, like cooking, and he'll just walk up to me and fart on my leg. So so I'm dealing with that now. And I'm like, and Allie's like, see what you taught him? And I'm like, I didn't teach him that. He just did that. That's like a natural teenager thing to do. He
Yeah.
doesn't have any friends, so he comes and farts on my leg. So I'm not kidding. I'm just kidding. He's actually out with some friends right now. But like, yeah, he farts on my leg.
This is what social media is doing to our kids.
And he does.
They can't make friends in real life, so they fart on us.
Fart on us. So we're downstairs. We're hanging out. We're playing with our remote control cars, and he's like, he walks over to me. He's like, "Do you smell popcorn?" And I was like, "What?" And I took a big sniff. And I was like, "You son of a bitch!" Fuck.
Oh, that's amazing. The old popcorn trick.
And he's just like, like he's just one of those, and he's like, "Fuck you."
You can't even be mad.
I know. And I'm like, what are we gonna do? Kick him out? He's 15. Where are you gonna go? Get the fuck out of my house. Oh my god, that used to be food I paid for. Get out.
Used to be food.
Oh my god. Yeah, kids, man. Kids.
You know what that reminds me of?
They age you fast. I used to be young and hot, and now I'm a 15-year-old who farts on me.
Now you're just old and you smell like farts.
I smell like farts, and they're not even mine. That's the worst thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard day when I get in my car and it doesn't smell like my farts. It smells like my kids.
This is your kids' farts. Our car does. You know what, man? Our car is super neutral. It doesn't smell like anything anymore.
Nice. Is it leather?
No, it's pleather. It's like that fake leather. But yeah,
that doesn't really suck up farts.
No, I know. We used to have cloth seats in the previous car, and man, those smell like farts. Like when he sat down in the back, you could like just waft farts up.
They were visible.
My God. Yeah. Like green stink lines, like the cartoons.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Should we talk about not farts for a minute?
Yeah. You know what? Okay. You know what? What?
What? Do you want to talk about the viral phenomenon of
oh yes I do.
Yeah, so
oh yes I do.
For those of you listening at home who don't know what we're talking about, 100 men versus one gorilla. So okay, this is one of those instances where I'm not on TikTok.
Yeah, I didn't see it on TikTok.
I assume it started on TikTok. I don't know. So I saw, like, I don't know, maybe a week ago, I saw this thing. I'm like, when your guy 62 against a gorilla. And I was like, and it's like this guy like freaking out, like waving his hands. And I'm like, what the fuck even is this? Like, I guess like a Gen Z meme where it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just this like weird, colorful dude flailing his hands.
It's like, it's like fourth tier internet.
Yeah. And then I saw another meme, and it was like when guy 41 decides to use the bones of the deceased to fight the gorilla. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I'm like, I don't know. I have no context for this. And they're like, what if there's 1,000,000 men versus 1,000 gorillas? And I was like, what? And there's like animations, like people do computer simulations of this happening. And I'm like, what in the fuck is happening? Why do I keep seeing this in weird little bursts, and I don't know what's going on. And I'm angry, and I'm an old man. I'm angry at the internet.
I first saw it on Threads. Threads is a good place for boomers and stuff like us, people like us to go.
Like a jammer right now
because Threads users it's just all like engagement bait, and it's like click farming. So everybody just repeats the same posts and stuff that other people put. I
don't have time for that in my life.
I just saw a post. Someone's like, okay, this is what I've been thinking about. Could 100 men fight one gorilla? And that was how it started.
In a row, I have so many questions.
Yeah, it's like 100
right
men.
Now I'm gonna choke on water.
Or it's like one gorilla versus 100 men.
Right.
And that was it. So, and then like you were saying, where number 41 takes the bones of the previous ones. So people are all coming up with this like crazy, like
different scenarios, I guess.
Like the dumbest one I saw was this one guy. I don't know if he was like the strongest man that's ever lived, or Chuck Norris himself. He was like, yeah, you just get one guy to give him a chokehold. And everybody was like, do you know how humans and gorillas work? That wouldn't work. And then people were like, their necks are too thick. And then other people were like, you could like punch them in the carotid artery on the neck. And someone else is like, no, their skin's too thick. And then one guy was like, if you take the last 50 guys to take the femur bones of the first dead 50 and make like Wolverine claws out of them, and then you could beat the gorilla. And it's funny because it's like, I made this tweet about like how like the last viral thing for girls was like, girls are like, I would meet a bear in the woods because it's more predictable than a
Oh,
man,
right. Yeah.
which that just turned out to be bad for someone, I think in, so anyway, some woman just got attacked by a bear, and
Oh
then I
no.
forgot to make like
A joke about it.
a horrible offhand joke about how she should have chose the man. Anyways, so and then the joke is that women are like talking about if they'd rather meet a bear, and dudes are talking about
Yeah, I
if
remember that.
100 of them could kill a gorilla.
Right.
Okay, what do you think? Could 100 men beat a gorilla?
I like, first off, I don't condone people versus animal violence. I don't think it's a cool thing.
Okay,
but like,
okay, it's Hitler
since we're
gorilla.
talking pure theory here, pure
It's like the
theory.
Hitler version of gorilla.
So here we go. Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many factors. So
Okay.
is it
See,
is
that's
it
the
a,
beauty of this.
is it a baby gorilla? Is it the way that I'm seeing it is it's like
Silverback.
there's 100 men lined up. And why does it have to be men? Can women beat up this gorilla too? Because I know some pretty tough chicks.
I think it was like human.
Humans. Okay. So is it like one at a time? Like you have to wear the gorilla down by like cannon fodder, or do they all go in at once?
See,
Because
that's the
like
beauty of this question is
I get it.
it's
It's a
so
philosophy question
open-ended.
for sure. Yeah,
It's
I gotta
so
adjust my chair
open-ended
for
that
this.
it becomes viral because you can solve
Because
the
there's a million
problem.
scenarios to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
So
And
like
it
if
makes
you want, you could go one after the other and like tire the gorilla out. Like
right.
maybe I personally think 100 men could beat a gorilla
I don't know.
by all karate chopping him in the neck at the same time.
Yeah, 100 because that's
Yeah.
200 karate chops, really, when you think about it.
And it's funny because I saw someone made like, you know how you're talking about that like um simulation of the gorillas and
Yeah.
stuff fighting. Someone had made like 100 gorillas versus Chuck Norris video and he just killed them all. And that's the other question is, who are the 100 men? Like, is it
Yeah,
just
like is it
average
you and
dudes?
me? Like, because that girl is just gonna play with your titties and be like, "Milky
Yeah,
Daddy," and like
he's
hit
gonna be
you and
like
stuff.
milky, and then I'm just gonna die of
Yeah,
shame.
and then tear your arms off and beat you with them. Like,
And you know what's even worse than that, Jeff? You and me are above
you
average
almost call
strength.
me Dad.
Did I say? I thought I
You know
said
what,
Jeff.
Dad, Jeff?
Oh, it might be because of the daddy milky thing was in my
Yeah,
brain.
yeah,
But
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
sad,
I would
the
say,
saddest part about this is you and
yeah,
me are above average strength.
I'm like pretty tough.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you used to play
I
hockey and
I
you
used
like.
I was tougher. I think I'm weaker now in my old age, but I was tough at one point in my life.
Yeah, but
So
if you take like what a 70-year-old other dude who was it? Not just
yeah,
kidding.
no, totally.
You're
I
like
feel
3 years
70
older
most of
than
the
me, and
time.
I just
Yeah,
fucking roast
you
you
just
for
call me
age.
70. I know I'm very old.
No,
I'm
but
very
like
old.
we're like, and it's funny because I
Yeah,
don't even think of myself as a strong guy, but I've just like I got farmer
yeah.
strength from
You have farmer
being
strength. You're
forced to do labor when I was a child.
yeah, it's the
Strength,
same thing. Like, I mean, I'm pretty old and sore now, but I mean, I got fists. I can hit, but
yeah,
it's like, but it's a gorilla. Like it's got reach on me, and I'm like,
hmm
I'm big, but I'm not gorilla big, right? Like
yeah.
you're.
But you're not fighting him alone. You got me by your side.
I know. We're gonna need some more people, like 80, 98 more guys. So
And the other thing too is, do you get sticks and rocks?
yeah, like are there weapons involved? Is it like I would imagine it's not. I think like in the ideal
Yeah,
scenario, you're doing might versus might,
yeah,
right? Like it's not no weapons, it's no glory, nothing like that. Because like 100 guys with guns, sure, done, bang 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 bang, girl's dead. It's like then the guys turn on each
yeah.
other, then it's
Even
over.
if you get just 100 dudes to all jump on him and like make a pile on top of him and suffocate him, like half the dudes would die because they'd be on the bottom of the dog pile too.
Yeah,
But you like, there's no way a gorilla could lift 100 dudes.
I
That's
don't know,
like
man. I don't know. I don't know if that's right. See,
that's
this is
like
the
thirty
thing. This is the
thousand
unpredictable.
pounds. No wait, Yeah, that's like
Even
30,000
even if
pounds.
even if you averaged out 100 men at 200 pounds each, that's 2,000 pounds a dude.
That's
It's like
20,000
or
pounds.
20,000 pounds a guy. Yeah,
That's
sorry.
a lot. That's a
Yeah,
lot for one gorilla to lift.
yeah, but he doesn't have to lift twenty
Okay,
thousand pounds.
this is how you do it. You get 100 dudes to jump on him, and then he probably gets out of the pile, but he's so top. And obviously, if I'm in this, I'm going to be the 100th guy. I'm just waiting
Yeah,
on top of the pile. And then when he comes out, I just poke him in the eyes.
deal the death blow
Yeah, just blink. And then I karate chop him in the neck and
right
he's
in the
dead.
neck. Yeah.
And then I claim victory over the gorilla.
See, so this is a great scenario because it's kind of fun because I'm like the immediate thought for me is that I like would need to study gorilla anatomy.
Like it's dick.
Oh yeah, like it's dick for sure. Like if I get that thing pleasured and I just go in two
Yeah.
hands and just like crank on its hog, and then maybe it's just like it doesn't want to fight, and then the other guys can take it out.
Yeah, that he's tired.
That's not exact. That's not at all what I meant, but that's where you were going. So I just
Of
naturally
course,
went
that's
with it.
where I'm going.
Yeah. No, I was like, I would need to know what is an average gorilla weight. What's an average silverback toughness? Oh my god, I want his D&D stats.
Dude, Google it right now. Just
What's
Google
its toughness?
silverback gorilla
What's his
stats.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Cap
Google
on
it and see how much it can lift.
Okay, hold up.
Also, you know what's even the best scenario of this is like you get 100 men versus a gorilla, but it's just 100 dudes I hate that we feed to a gorilla.
Oh my god, dude. Okay. You ready for this?
Yeah.
So silverback gorillas are large, powerful primates known for their dominance within gorilla troops. They typically weigh between 135 to 195 kilograms, which
Are
is
you fucking serious?
300 to 430 pounds, and stand
Jesus.
1.5 to 1.8 meters. So 4'11" up to 5'11". So that's the same height as me.
What? I'm taller than a gorilla?
You're taller than a gorilla, but they outweigh you by 100, at least 130, 140 pounds.
Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome.
What'd you say? 430?
300 to 430 pounds. You're not 300 pounds.
I'm 280.
Yeah.
So they outweigh me by 150 pounds.
Yeah. 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 So, and their strength is considerable, with some estimates suggesting they can lift over 1,763 pounds or 800 kilograms of dead weight. Dude,
that's only
like 15 dudes. Yeah. 12 dudes.
Nice.
I can lift 12 dudes, so the other 78 have no, or 88 have no problem.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think we could do it, but like for reals, like, and the problem with the simulations we were talking about, that was all punching, so it was just dudes throwing punches. Yeah. Like if you get like 15 guys to drop kick a gorilla at once, and then 15 guys to drop, I just like waves of drop kicks and like punches, and like I said before, karate chops, which is a joke, but still, like if you're gonna try, like gorillas probably have like this much like vulnerability on their neck that you could hit, and you're not gonna hit that with a fist. So I guess you could call them knife edges or whatever.
I'm watching a simulation right now, and I apologize for this. The gorilla is absolutely destroying the men.
Yeah, and it's also like the gorilla punches the dudes and they fly 30 feet in the air.
Yeah, well, they would if it can. Like again, the gorilla's reach is insane, right?
Oh, dude, have you ever seen that video of there's these guys in the jungle and they're like, shh, 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 quiet, quiet, quiet. And then there's like a gorilla's walking by, and one of the cameramen is just standing there, and the gorilla just casually, as it walks by, just grabs him by the leg and drags him 10 feet.
Yeah.
And like he's not even anything, but the gorilla is just like, just grabs him and drags him and then lets him go. And the guy's just like, his eyes are like this big. And it's just wild.
So basically, a gorilla will win against 100 men in less than a minute.
Less than a minute? No.
Yep.
Impossible.
Yeah. 58 seconds it would take for a gorilla to go through 100 men.
No.
In a simulation. I
will concede that a gorilla would probably win, but it would take more than a minute.
I don't know, man. This because like it can kill you with one like, if it grabs your head, it can crush your head.
Yeah, but it's gonna take like a couple seconds to crush my head. I don't know if you know this about me, but I got a pretty big head.
You got a pretty big
skull.
skull.
I'm
I have a
pretty smooth brained and thick skulled.
I've got kind of a glass jaw and a bit of a fragile head, so I don't know. I don't think I'd last too long against a gorilla. I just got
Yeah.
to protect that melon, get those arms up. Bang, bang, bang.
I still don't think a minute. You can't even punch 100 times. Well, maybe you
I
can in a
feel like I
minute.
would give a gorilla a solid 20 seconds
Oh
before I'm
yeah.
absolutely ripped apart.
Like if I can get behind him, I would last 2 punches
Oh
because
my
he would
god.
miss with the first one.
I think it would honestly be super scary to be face to face with a gorilla. Like I
Yeah.
think like
Yeah, dude.
you know
Oh,
you know like that like almost like a shock thing. Like if I
like
was
fight
just
or
like
flight.
kind of like I just think there would be like this whole thing where do you remember role playing games? Did you ever play role playing games?
Yeah.
So there's this
Did
thing where like
I ever play role
yeah,
play?
I know it's a stupid question. Of course you did. There's like this thing called terror where you have to do like a terror test before
Yeah.
you attack something that's incredibly big and powerful. And like if you fail your terror test, you're gonna run away
Yeah.
because you're scared of the thing, right? And it'd be like that kind of same feeling where you're like, I'm going up against a gorilla, and this thing is like this horrifying monstrosity that's basically the same height as me, but it has huge mass, and I know that it could fling me. If it can lift a ton of
Dude.
weight, it can punch me across a room
Dude,
if it wanted to.
imagine if it just started Zangief tornado
Yeah,
spinning,
just
doing back fists.
huge arms just coming at you,
Jesus.
man. And that's a thing, right? Like even if I'm thinking if there's 100 of us and there's one gorilla, like and you're like, how if I could get behind that gorilla, maybe with 100 guys you could get behind the gorilla
Hmm.
because it would be distracted for a moment and you could sneak up in behind it. But I like think
I
of the
think, yeah.
mass of this thing.
I think the only way you're doing it is if you all
Excuse me.
rush it and you're all just like going shit nuts wild. I like you'd be punching each other, but
Yeah,
you
but that's
basically have to have like all trying to like smother and punch the gorilla at the same time.
just man. I don't see a scenario where you could win, right? Like I know it's easy to make conjecture and being like everyone just piles on the gorilla and starts going
Mhm.
after it or whatever, but I just don't see it, man. I just don't see the gorilla being that easy to take down.
But another thing to think about too is how much stamina does a gorilla have? Because it's all muscle, so it could just burn itself out and get like lactic acid in its arms and legs. And it's also a
Not under a minute.
they're
It
also
finishes everybody up in
vegetarian.
58 seconds. Yeah.
So they're kind of like lethargic too. Like they don't even climb trees because they're like, fuck it, we don't have to. We'll
They're
just kill
heavy. They're
anything that
heavy as
comes to
shit.
us. Yeah.
They're not why I don't want to climb a tree because I'm heavy. I'm like I have to haul my ass up that tree. That's so far.
Case in point, how long
Yeah.
could you punch before you're like how long could you punch chickens before you got tired?
Dude, I've really only ever been in like hockey fights. So like they last maybe 20, 30 seconds tops. Like that's all I need
Yeah.
to punch for, right? Like I haven't been in a
Mhm.
like brawl or anything in a really long time.
I've never really been in a fight.
Don't get in a fight. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it hurts.
It hurts a lot. Yeah.
Even if you win, it hurts.
Yeah. Even if you win, it hurts. That is facts. Facts. I think I told you this. I've only ever won one fight
Yeah.
with two punches and he didn't hit me back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that
Nice.
was it. So yeah, it was a chest shot because he kind of moved out of the way and I hit him in the
Yeah.
chest. And then I came in with the other hand and hit him in the nose and broke it. And he went down like a lump.
Oof, I
That was
would.
it. And then every other fight, I've been severely beaten in the fight as
Yeah.
well. Whether I've won or lost, I've been hurt really bad.
Spoiler alert. The second anybody breaks my nose, they won the fight because I am not fighting with a broken
And
nose.
now I'm thinking about my nose and how I can't breathe out of one side of it. And it's just kind of a floppy mess.
Is it because it got broken?
Oh yeah. Yeah, a
How
bunch of
many times
times.
have you broken your nose? 5?
But one time was because I walked into a door. No shit. I walked into a door and broke it. Yeah.
That sounds like it hurts so
Yep.
bad.
It does. It hurts really bad. And then your coach comes and looks at you and grabs you by the head and is like, and puts it back in place because it's like all shifted off to one side.
You know, I heard that's why Owen Wilson's nose is all fucked up
Oh, probably.
because he
I
broke
literally
it when he
can't
was,
breathe through one side. It's like all calcified on one side.
yeah, because I think he broke it when he was a kid
Yeah.
and his dad or whatever dude was supposed to like reset his nose did it wrong and it just
Yeah.
got fucked up forever.
Yeah. And I mean, that can happen to lots of people, right?
That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck.
But you still got to be
It's not very fun.
famous.
Yeah. I'm not famous and I have a fucked up nose.
Yeah.
I was saying,
Okay, let's talk. Let's not leave the realm of the animal kingdom,
okay.
but let's talk about cat buttholes.
Okay, I didn't. I saw that story, but I didn't read it. What are we talking about cat
Okay.
buttholes
So
for?
Andrea sends me the story. Here's the
Mhm.
headline. Sixth grader science experiment answers, do cat buttholes touch every surface they sit on?
Oh God, yes, they do.
And
Yeah.
no, they do not.
Oh.
Because the hair acts as a cushion unless you have a hairless cat. And the only reason I know this was I heard on Reddit someone was talking about how the worst job they'd ever seen someone have. Can you hear my toddler right
I
now?
can
Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
just
She's
gonna
losing
we're
it.
just gonna pause
Okay,
and
it's 9 o'clock. We should probably.
okay, I'll just finish this cat butthole story, and it sounds like a quirky fun thing, but it just turns like to the weirdest thing I've ever heard. So I'm just gonna walk you through
Okay.
what they did. So, anyways, like his or her, I guess it's a her scientific research hypothesis, like, or not hypothesis, but like what they figured out was that the butthole doesn't touch everything because the hair on the butt acts as a cushion, so the actual sphincter itself
Yeah, it
doesn't
doesn't
touch
touch the
that.
surfaces. Okay, I can
So
see
here's
that.
how it gets weird. Guess how they figured this out?
Oh my God, how
I'm just gonna check if it's a girl or a boy because
did they ink the butthole and
they
like?
did
Oh,
to an
I
extent.
totally guessed it. Yeah.
Um okay,
That would be what I would do.
his or
So,
her name is Caden and they're a
okay,
sixth grader. I'm just gonna say them.
their name.
They live in Florida, so you're like,
Yeah,
oh yeah. So they put
that
lipstick
tracks.
on the
Oh
cat's
my God.
butthole, and
Okay.
you're like, all right, that's pretty weird for like
Fuck her
a
up.
11-year-old
Side.
kid to be putting lipstick on their
Yeah.
cat's butthole. And
That's
the other thing is, they did it to their own cats, and you're like, oh, that's weird. I mean, it makes sense. You're not going to go catch a feral cat.
yeah.
And then it's like they had taught these cats how to sit and do tricks like a dog, and you're like, all right, this is already weird because this person sounds like they spend an inordinate amount of time with their cat
Yeah.
enough to
There's
teach it to sit. And
yeah.
then how betrayed are you as a cat when somebody teaches you how to sit and you're like a good guy cat and you're like, I'll sit for this guy. He's my
Yeah.
bro or he's my sis. I can't remember. I don't know if Caden is male or female. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter in this day and age. But like, how betrayed would you be that you're just like hanging out with the person who trained you and then they stick lipstick on your
Lipstick on your butt.
asshole
Yeah.
and then tell you to sit and you're like, do I have to do this every time? Like, I'm gonna unlearn all these
This is the new
tricks.
normal now. Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, that sounds, I guess putting lipstick on cats buttholes is a lot of work and to record everything. And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, the teacher helped. And you're like, well, I guess
Oh my God.
that sounds kind of
Holding the
like
cat.
cheating if the teacher is helping you with the science project.
Yeah.
And then and then you're like, wait, they did it to their own cats. Did the teacher come over to help? No, guess what? This kid is homeschooled.
Oh my God. Of
The
course. So the
teacher is their
teacher's mom.
parent.
Yeah. The teacher helped
So this
mom and dad.
mom and this 11-year-old kid went around putting lipstick on their cats'
Oh.
buttholes and putting paper on stuff to see if they'd sit them. And I don't know about you, but if you have a science experiment, it's supposed to be for the school as part of your mark. If you're doing a fucking homeschooled science fair, that means you're doing it for just your mom. Nobody else is taking part. So you're not doing this for anything. You're just an 11-year-old kid
Putting
putting
lipstick
lipstick on your cat's
on a butt.
buttholes for your fucking mom in Florida. That's weird.
So, so I have questions.
Oh my God.
I'm not even a Scientologist or anything, but
Yeah.
with the science-mologist, uh, the scientific method is not being followed, right?
Yeah, no.
You know,
So,
it's like if then statements and like if this does this, there's like theory, like you don't have a control subject of a cat who doesn't have lipstick on its butt sitting on places.
yeah.
Like there's so many things wrong with this experiment.
On
This
the way
just
they
sounds
figured out that
this just sounds
it,
like a weekend. I wouldn't take any of this for granted. I
yeah,
would assume your cat's
TED Talk
butthole is on
canceled
everything.
butthole
TED
lip
Talk
sticker.
canceled.
And the
Jesus
way they
Christ.
figured out was there's no lipstick marks on the paper.
So my cat, I have a cat. My cat's name is
Is that the
Charlie.
one with the lipstick all over its
He has the
asshole?
lipstick all over it. Yeah, that's for funsies. But he
Do you think
has
the mom kept the lipstick?
oh yeah. I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me. Just talking. Yeah. No, the Dale's dying. I'm sorry. So our cat And I can tell you that he sits everywhere in the house. He sits wherever the
Yeah.
hell he wants because he's a cat. That's what he does. And we love him. And he's our adorable baby boy, our little precious prince. He's fluffy as fuck, like
Yeah.
super fluffy. And he just turned 11 yesterday. He's 11 years old. He's a geriatric cat now at this point.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen sometimes, so not even butthole stuff, but like sometimes his fur has piss in it from when he goes to the litter box. It just
All
does
right.
because he's got long ass butt fur, right? And his you can't see his butthole, you can't see his wiener. It's just all fluff covered. It's got like fluffy pantaloons going at the back, and he sits everywhere. And I know that there's piss on there. I know that there's poop on there, and he sits on it. So it's not even like when you we're even talking different cats here. So if you got a butthole cat, which is like I call dogs that have their butthole showing butthole dogs. I don't know if we've talked about this before. I feel like we've talked
I
about this
don't think
before.
we have.
You know, like the fucking corgis and stuff. They're butthole
Yeah.
dogs. They just walk around, their tails up, and their little fucking starfish is out, and it drives me nuts. I hate those kind of dogs. And there's cats like that too. And our cat doesn't have that. His precious little pooper is stuck in behind a nice wall of fur. But
Yeah.
absolutely, there's like stuff on it. You can't put lipstick on the butthole of a cat and then like expect it not to lick it off for one,
Oh, there you go.
right? Like our cat's incredibly clean. He's always licking himself, right? And most cats are incredibly clean. So yeah, I don't know, man. This doesn't sound very scientific at all.
No. And it just, to me, it just
This
sounds
sounds like
fucking
Florida.
weird.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's Florida special right there.
Florida student, like it shouldn't even be sixth grader. It should just say
Yeah.
Florida student, and you'd be
Yeah.
like, you'd be primed for it to be fucking
You
weird.
know it's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be like
Ugh.
face eating, there's gonna be all kinds of stuff. And your bath
And it's funny
salts.
because it's like me and Andrea were talking about this because I just read the thing and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I looked at what it was. And I was like, oh, that's kind of hilarious. And then I just think of like the weird dirty kid who kind of like isn't dirty but is dirty in your
Yeah.
class when you're growing up, and they like thinking about them putting like if you can see your cat's butthole, and you're like, all right. And then you get to the lipstick part and you're like, wait, what? That's weird. What shade do they use? Do you use dark red or a pink one?
Oh my god.
And then
Yeah.
like what
You have to
happens?
use
Like, is
a
the
burgundy.
turds lipstick covered too?
Yeah, man. Check the litter
And you
box.
just get like
Oh
the
my god, my
teacher
cat's
help.
bleeding internally. Oh no, it's lipstick experiment. Never
Oh
mind.
yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Also
whoops.
a good way to
Whoopsie.
tell who's eating your cat shit.
God. Oh my god. No, I
Yeah.
think that's bad. That's bad news bears.
I just wanted to share that so everybody knows how weird it is along with
That
me.
it's super weird. I would agree with you that it's weird.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah,
don't
we
do that.
should
Don't do that at all.
probably wrap her up.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, so notes from us from the Canada elections were crazy. I'm just wrapping up the
mhm.
show.
Yeah.
The gorilla, Dale seems to think he could take it. I'm not sure. Still out on that one. And don't put lipstick on your cat's beehole.
Yeah.
That's it. Outrage Factory complete.
100 of me. If I could
100
clone
of
myself
Dale.
100 times, we could fuck up that gorilla. We'd eat him.
Yeah.
We'd
I
eat him
don't.
for
You'd eat him.
breakfast.
You'd roast him for sure. You'd
Yeah.
put him on a spit, roast him over an open fire. I'm going no. I'm not gonna be able
All
to
right.
fight a gorilla. I don't think I could do
Split
it.
decision.
Yeah.
Hey, if you listen to this, let us know in the comments. Could 100 dudes kill a gorilla?
Could
And if
100
you want to
Dales and
get
Jeffs, 50 Dales and
yeah,
50 Jeffs, could
if
we
you
do
want to
it?
get weird with it, add women or whatever, come up with a scenario why you would or would not be able to beat that gorilla. Let us know.
I'm in
And
for
then
this.
like and subscribe. This was episode 268. Probably
Holy.
should have told you at the beginning. Give us some 5-star reviews, tell your friends. And yeah. Until next time.
Stay angry.